Hello everyone, welcome to the Engineering, Computation and Instrumentation last lab. Today we will introduce how we can deal with file input and output. Let's start by introducing what is required from you in your pre-lab submission. In your pre-lab submission, you are required to do data smoothing. In communication systems, the received data contains signal of interest plus noise. The noise causes the data to vary in random way. We want to reduce the impact of noise on the signal by smoothing the data. Smoothing reduces large and short-term variation in the data. How we can do data smoothing? There are many methods that may be used to smooth data. The simplest one that we will use today on our lab is to replace each data point with the median of 3 data points. The data point of interest, the data point before it, and the data point after it. What is median? Median is the median of set of numbers is the middle number when the list of numbers is sorted in ascending order. For example, if we want to calculate the median of 3 numbers, 8, 1, 2. So the first step is make ascending order to the numbers. So we will have 1, 2, 8. So the median will be 2, which is the middle number in this list. Note that the median is different from the average or mean. Here in this pre-lab, for example, you are given here noisy list, which contains 11 elements in this list, and we want to make data smoothing for this noisy list. So our steps that we will follow to make the data smoothing, this method requires the list contain minimum of 3 numbers. The list may contain an even or odd number of numbers. The first and the last numbers in the list are unchanged. For this lab, a smoothed number will not be used to smooth the next number in the list. In other words, only original noisy numbers are used when calculating median values. So let's take this example and try to make data smoothing for the noisy list. So here we have 11 elements and we want to make smoothing for this list. As I told you, the first and the last elements in this list will be unchanged. So the first element in the smoothed list will be the same that in the noisy list, and also the last element in the smoothed list will be the same as in the noisy list. After that, we want to make smoothing for the second point. Second point is -5. So we will select the point of interest, which is -5, and the point before it, which is 3, and the point after it, which is 2. And we will make ascending order. So we will have -5, 2, 3. So the median will be 2, which is the middle number between -5, 2, 3. So 2 is the middle number. After that, we are interested to do data smoothing for the third point, which is 2. So we will select point 2, which is the point of interest, and the point before it, which is -5, and the point after it, which is -8, and make ascending order. So we will have -8, -5, 2. So our median will be -5, which is the middle number in this small list. Okay, after that we are interested to do smoothing for point -8. So we will select point -8 and the point before it and the point after it and make ascending order. So we will have -8, 2, 6. So 2 will be the median, which is the middle number. And we will repeat the same process over the remaining numbers till we make data smoothing for all the points in our noisy list. After that, we want to see what is the effect of smoothing our noisy data. So we will calculate the average of the noisy list by taking the summation of the values of all elements and divide by n, which here is 11. After that, we will calculate the variance and the standard deviations. We will follow the same way as what we did in lab 4. And we will repeat this process and calculate the average and the variance and the standard deviations for our new smoothed list. And compare the results between the results that we achieve using the noisy list and the results achieved by using smoothed list. And as you see here, in using smoothed list, produce smaller standard deviation compared to what is achieved in the noisy list. So standard deviation is how far each individual elements from the average. So here the value of standard deviation is smaller than what is achieved in the noisy list. So making data smoothing can improve the performance of our system. In your pre-lab, you are given a new list of noisy numbers, and you are required to do the same process. You are required to make the data smoothing using the median method, and after that you are required to calculate the average variance standard deviation for the noisy numbers and for the smoothed numbers, and to compare the results and explain to us why smoothing data can improve the performance of our system. Okay, so this is what is required from you in your pre-lab assignment. Now let's introduce what is required from you in lab 6 program specifications. In this lab, you are required to write C++ program that asks the user to enter the name of the input file that contains the noisy numbers. And after that, check for input file open failure. If a failure occurs, notify the user and terminate the program. And after that, you will required to ask the user to enter the name of the output file to which the noisy numbers, the smoothed numbers, and the average and the standard deviation of both lists will be written. And after that, again, you will check for output file open failure. If a failure occurs, notify the user and terminate the program. And then you will proceed to read in the noisy numbers from the input file. And after that, you will calculate the average standard deviation of the list of noisy numbers. And in order to calculate the standard deviation, remember, you must calculate the variance and take the square root of the variance. Then smooth the list of noisy numbers to create a list of smoothed numbers. And after that, again, calculate the average and the standard deviation of the list of smoothed numbers. And at the end, write the list of noisy numbers and the list of smoothed numbers and the average and the standard deviation of both to the output file. In Vocarium, you are given the main steps that you can follow to write this program. You are not committed to follow these steps, but I recommend to you to follow these steps. If you follow these steps, you will write a correct code. You are given several examples in your lectures, especially for the lectures of data files. You are given several examples that cover all of these steps in your lectures. So I recommend to you to follow the examples given to you in your lectures. And if you study these lectures very good, I think that you can write this code in a correct way. In your work dictionary in Vocarium, you will find an input file called data.in.py. txt, don't change or delete this file, okay, as you will use this file in your program. The format of the output file must be as follows: the noisy numbers in the first column, smooth numbers in the second column, average and standard deviation of both lists at the end of the file. You can see an example given to you in your lab manual and follow this example, okay? When writing to the output file, use formatting manipulators to make the columns of numbers spaced and write all numbers with 2 decimal places. So you will set the set precision to write all numbers with 2 decimal places. I hope everything is clear for you. Thank you.